No, I don't have anything on PeopleSoft.
Okay. What about Jonathan?
I have a background in finance. I've been doing sales, real estate, accounting for past 5 years, but I don't have any PeopleSoft experience, so I want to get into PeopleSoft. My family does a lot of PeopleSoft, but I want to get into it myself.
Okay, great. It's a bit easy for me to like explain about the accounting concepts and everything. Good that you both are from the accounting background. Okay. Maybe let me start off like maybe we can plan how we can go further about it. Okay. Do you guys know like what how the functional things works in any ERP?
I've never worked with an ERP before.
I have
Okay.
worked before in ERP and SAP, so like I know a little bit about that. But SAP we go as a GUI concept, right? Graphical user interface. So we go through that and we do the SAP. But like here, the PeopleSoft is little different, looks like.
Okay. Okay. So let me just give you like a how the ERPs works and what exactly or how can we can relate it to the functional stuff to the to the technical uh, what do you call like a functional side. Okay. I will cover only the functional part of the PeopleSoft. Okay. So as you know, it's like okay, PeopleSoft any React okay in the normal operations we do a lot of activities like subsystems, subledgers and the ledgers. Okay. So ultimately, end of the day, when you see any ERP, so how you want to track your transactions and subsystems, and when you go to the GL level, and from there, like how you reported your local repositories depends upon the requirement. Okay. So the mainly way in the functional side when you cover up in the FSM side. So how the operations works, okay, and how because we need to mainly understand each and every bit of the application, how the application works, okay, and once we know the how the application works in a consulting form like where if you want to do implementation, so if you know about how the application works, then we can understand the required from the client side. Then we can configure the system according will exactly match with the requirement. So when we suggest something to the client or when we prepare something to the working on the particular ERP side, so we should know that the functionality of the application. Okay, so I no need to much stress about the operation side since you both are from the accounting background and also have a, like some accounting experience. So I majorly cover the how the system works. Okay. Just give me a few minutes, so because my server is like starting running. So once it is up, I can show the system and maybe what modules you guys are expecting from it.
I'm looking for finance model to PeopleSoft.
Yeah,
All the
just like
modules.
just like everything with GL, AP, and all that.
Right, everything from the finance model.
Okay, sure. Okay. Before this application start, like quickly we just like brush up on the how the subsystem subledgers will work. Okay. I think you guys are aware how the AP works. Okay, we'll start with AP, accounts payable. Okay, why we need to do the AP? AP is like as and when there is any liability incurred by the company, so the company is liable to make the payment to the vendors. So then the AP comes into the picture. Okay, and prior to that, if you are using depends upon the module. If you are using the e-procurement, okay, like is a purchasing module. So if you are using the purchasing module, so in general scenario, first the whenever any requirement comes, the first we need to the requisition will be raised. So before the requisition will go to the respective departments and they will validate the budgets, whether what are the requirement or like what are the purchase requisitions which you are receiving to purchase it. So we first with the budget validation will be budget checks will be validated. And once everything is fine, the buyer or buyers requisition will be raised in the system. So once the requisition is raised, then depends upon the approval process and everything, it will go on, and once it is approved, then it will go to the admin team where they can actually procure whatever the requirement raised by the consent department. So once the if you are using the PO related invoices, or if you are using non-PO related invoices, so as and when the invoice comes, then it will go to the respective the finance team, and where the respective department who actually validate the particular invoices. Yes, this particular cost is belongs to my department, or cost of the respective projects. So they will just give the project details, account details, and everything, and then they will send it to the AP team. The AP team is the finance team, where actually the separate department who actually validate, who actually receive the invoice copy, and they will process the invoice in the system. Then they will make the payment to the vendors. So then it comes to the AP. So in any ERP, if you want to become a consultant, you should be very familiar with the accounting process. If you take the example of AP, how the entire process works, where it starts and where it ends. So that's the important thing. Okay, as we continue in the current AP process, like once the invoice received from the vendor, so then it will go to the respective department, and the admin department will validate. And if they are using the PO module and the receipts, they will people will raise the receipt, and the PO will be matched. And there are a concept called matching concept. Okay, you will do the three-way matching, two-way matching, four-way matching. So two-way matching is like a PO and the invoice will be validated. Three-way matching is PO, receipt, and the invoice will be validated. So these kind of setups will be maintained in the ERP side, and it is automated. Once the validation is completed, then the voucher will be created in the system. So prior to that, we have to create a vendor master. So why it is required a vendor master? Because if you want to make the payment to any vendor, first you have to keep a record of the vendors. So that depends upon the vendor category, like whether it is a supplier, it's a contractor, whether it is, because those are very categories very important, because depends upon that only the whether it is applicable withhold, whether it is applicable VAT, those things will be comes to the picture. So once the vendor is created, because why we need to maintain the vendor master, because if you do a lot of business with the vendor, so you will have to maintain the vendor master details. So once the vendor is created, invoice will be generated. Once the invoice is created, depends upon your requirement. For example, if your company using the approval workflow, that means any invoice which comes, that has to be gone to the proper approval process, depends upon the threshold limits. Okay, so that approval process setups will be done in the system. Once the approval process is completed, like then it will look for the matching process, whether all the matching is completed in the system. Yes, all the invoices whatever we received and whatever invoice validated, everything is matching fine, so ready for the payment. So then depends upon the due date, we will create the pay cycles, pay cycle setups and everything. And once you run the pay cycle, so it will be picked in the particular pay cycle, and it will be paid to the vendor. So in between, there are from the system side, there are a couple of things will be done. When the liability will be generated in the system, when you run the pay cycle, when you run the payment entry has to be generated in the system. So how the system will understand, how the system will automatically pick up those entries and will be created. So those we can cover that. Is this my explanation is fine with you people?
It's fine. It's just a little hard to hear sometimes.
Sorry?
It's a little hard to hear you sometimes.
Okay, you can just like raise your hand like whenever you are not comfortable. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just a little. Yeah, it echoes a lot.
So in the PeopleSoft also there are PeopleSoft. I think in 1990s actual PeopleSoft is used, and in 2007 PeopleSoft acquired by the Oracle company, and from there the Oracle is maintaining this PeopleSoft. Okay, so in 70s when initially started, they created a version. Okay, each and every PeopleSoft will be developed in the different versions. Okay, so each and every version has like their own advantages and new features enabled in the new versions. Okay, so when initially it is started, it is the version called 7.5. That is the first version which I worked, and later they created 8. 8 is like a more advanced, and the look wise and everything is entire quite different than the 7.5. And after 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.4, and 8.8, 8.9, 9.1, and in March 2013 Oracle has released the latest version of 9.2. Okay, the version which right now I'm showing is like 9.2, which is the latest version. Okay, if you see the earlier if you saw this particular PeopleSoft, it looks entirely different than 8. All 9.1 is have advanced lookups, but when you see that 8.8, 8.4 looks wise till 8.1, 8.4, 8.7, 8.8, 8.9 till 9 it looks similar. 9 or 9.1 also similar, but the lookups and everything, the advanced features are enabled is like it's drastically changed with the Oracle. Lot of reportings kind of stuffs, and a lot of what are the missing in the requirements from the client. So those are incorporated in the latest versions. So this version, this is called Enter PeopleSoft FSCM. You can see all the different modules. Okay, everything is interrelated. Okay, and when it comes to the like functional point of view, okay, functional point of view, the main configuration will be done under the set of financials. Okay, so in the set of financials, you can see different things like installation options, security, upgrade, and the business unit related, common definition related, and product related. Okay, so majorly we always like majorly work as a functional consultant. We always work on the installation options will be used when you are implementing the ERP, or when you are upgrading the ERP. So major configurations will be done under the installations. Installation like at a highest level. Okay, and later if you want to like from after installation options, then it will start, the main configuration will start under the BU, business unit related, common definitions, and product related. It has a huge importance of these three tabs. That is, I'm just stressing here. Okay, BU related. So whenever you are creating any business unit, irrespective of the subledger, like if it is a AP, if it is a AR, if it is a billing, if it is a time and expenses, if it is a project costing, if it is AM, asset management, anything, if you want to like create a subledger business unit, okay, first those configurations will be done under the business unit related. This is the business related configurations. Okay, then common definitions. The common definitions has a lot of importance because commonly defined some other setups. So that means this whatever the configuration will be done under the common definition level is not restricted to the specific business unit or product. Okay, that can be used across the business unit and across the modules. Okay, so those kind of setups will be done under the common definition level. Product related. So here product related means again it's a specific to the product. Okay, so any type of configuration which I will do under the product related is specific to the product. For example, I'll take payables are okay. So payables means accounts payables comes under the procurement option. So that's why I opened this procurement options. Okay, for example, voucher related. If I want to do anything voucher related, matching rule setups, matchings, and period and accruals, okay, and the voucher origins, voucher build criteria. So these are some of things which is exclusively used only for the voucher related processes. So whenever I do setup at the voucher level under the procurement vouchers here. So that means this particular configuration is enabled and will be used only for the specific module. You got the difference between all these three?
Not
Yeah.
Or
all.
you want me to repeat one more time?
Yeah, not all of it, but I mean, it's new to me, so I mean, maybe go on.
Yeah, it will take some time. Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm telling a high level overview. Okay. When we dig into the each module wise and screen by screen, and the later sessions I will explain how it works and everything. Okay.
Okay.
As it's just like overview of high level overview, I'm just giving what are the configurations, where do we do, and
Sure.
the main thing here we need to catch here is like we need to understand the difference between the business unit related setup, a common definition related setup, and the product related setups. So
Okay.
business unit related, again repeat them one more time because it's very important. Okay, and tomorrow in the when you have like a opportunity and a hands-on experience, and when you got the requirement, itself, okay, if I want to create a new business unit, where do I go and do it? So obviously, in your mind, it should strike that okay, I have to go to the business unit related. There I have to define my business unit. Yes, sir. Something commonly we will use. For example, common definition related currency. So currency, I'll take one of the example. Okay, currency. If I say the currency is not restricted to the one business unit or one specific module. Currency will be used in each and every module. Okay, so that means if I define my currency under the common definition level, so that means this can be used across the modules, any module, AP, accounts payable, accounts receivable, billing, project costing, expenses, wherever it comes. So I can use this particular configuration. Okay, for example, calendars. So calendars are very important. For example, if you are GL level, the calendars are important. Subsystem level also, some of the calendar, sometimes the calendars are important. For example, holidays. If you create your holidays, how do you link it to your bank configuration? Because we should avoid the missing of your dues, the payments due on the holidays. So that we will link it to your bank configurations. So that whenever you have any invoices which is falling due on those holidays, so system should trigger and will be processed in advance. So how do you system understand? First you have to define your holiday calendar and that link to your business unit bank level, or sometimes you can link it to your business unit level. Up to you, like because different options are available on each and every level. So wherever you want to use it, you can use it. So this is not restricted to any specific module or any specific subsystem level. So that what we can do, whatever we are configuring under the common definitions can be used anywhere. Okay. For example, EFT, electronic fund transfers. So EFT will be used for your payments. When you want to make on account to account payments, okay, I'm just giving very example. Okay, so where do you do it? In the accounts payable, you can use this particular EFT options. Okay, when you are doing your expenses, employee related reimbursements, if you want to do that is the travel and expense module. So in the travel and expense also, whenever the employees submit their expenses, if you want to make the payment through the EFT like electronic fund transfer, you can use it, this particular option there also. Okay, and when it comes to the receivable, so sometimes you use your receivables from your customers in the AR module. So you want to use your logbox process and everything. So by using the EFT options, you can use that one as well. Okay, so I'm just giving one example. Okay, like this. So these kind of things will be used anywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll start with accounts payable. Is it fine with you people?
Sure.
Yeah. So before that, before we get into this specific module, the main concept, okay, the main important concept where we need to understand is like a set controls and set control tables. What is set control? What is set control tables? Okay. So now, for example, in this examples, what I'm explaining is currency. Okay. If I use the currency code, okay. Certain things is coming from the delivered and certain things which we have to manually create it. The currency is actually what are the examples which are given. See here, if you search any currency code, it will always be displayed because the PeopleSoft, the Oracle, when they develop the application, they have included maximum currency codes available in the world. Okay, so that's why we no need to specifically create anything, but certain things I will tell you.